Good morning and welcome to African Union Television News, Friday morning, January 26. My name is Kwasi Amankwah Agyekum. Coming up, OSP seizes fuel stations, properties, and vehicles linked to Mustafa Abdul Hamid. NDC sets December 19, 2026 for National Delegates Conference to elect new leaders. Every city spent returned 20 times over. OSP shuts down critics. Chamber of Mines proposes sliding royalty of 4% to 8% removal of GSL amid high gold prices. NPA chief executive meets staff to chart renewed path for 2026. Opoku Prempeh backs Bawumia as NPP's most marketable presidential candidate. China to relax travel rules for British visitors, UK says. And France moves to abolish concept of marital duty to have sex. The details. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, says it has seized and is managing multiple high-value properties, fuel stations, cash, vehicles, and apartments linked to the ongoing criminal case against former National Petroleum Authority NPA Chief Executive Officer Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid and 9 other accused persons. The disclosure is contained in the 2025 half-yearly report signed by the Special Prosecutor, Kwasi Amankwah. According to the report, the seized assets form part of exhibits in the Republic versus Mustafa Abdul Hamid and 9 others, CR 0603-2025, currently pending before the Criminal High Court in Accra. Among the assets under OSP management are 4 fuel stations local at Opekumam, Dansuma, Abekala Pass, and Millennium City. Other seized assets include 6-unit residential blocks at Agbogba, valued at 10 million Ghana cedis, 23 fuel tanker trucks, and several uncompleted apartment developments in Airport City and Roman Range. Separately, the OSP disclosed that it has seized and is managing luxury vehicles valued at 18.6 million Ghana cedis in connection with its investigation into the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. These include a Rolls-Royce Mansory Phantom, Mercedes-Benz Maybach 680, Mercedes-Benz Brabus 800, Toyota Land Cruiser LC300, Lexus LX 600, and 2 flat bullion vans. The asset seizures follow criminal charges against Dr. Abdul Hamid and 9 others, including former and current NPA officials and 3 private companies over an alleged conspiracy to extort more than 291 million Ghana cedis from players in the petroleum sector. Prosecutors allege that between December 2022 and December 2024, the accused persons unlawfully obtained 291,574 and 87.19 Ghana cedis and 332,407,047 from bulk oil transporters and oil companies, despite having no lawful authority to do so. Those in charge include Jacob Kamena Amwa, former coordinator of the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund, Wendy Newman, an NPA audit staffer, Albert Ankra, Isaac Mensah, Bright Bediako Mensah, and Kweku Abuaji Akpa. The companies cited are Pronest Limited, KEL Logistics Limited, and Kings Energy Limited. The case remains before High Court as the OSP continues its asset tracing seizure and prosecution process. The governing National Democratic Congress, NDC, has announced that it will hold its National Delegates Conference on December 19, 2026 to elect new national party executives. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, the party's General Secretary, Fifi Ferry Kwete, said the internal elections will follow a bottom-top structure, starting from the branch level, progressing through constituency and regional elections, and culminating at the national level. He announced that the filing of nominations will take place from Saturday, November 7, to Monday, November 9, 2026, with vetting of aspirants scheduled for Thursday, November 12 and Friday, November 13, 2026. According to Mr. Kwasi, the appeals process will be conducted on Sunday, November 15 and Monday, November 16, 2026, while the Youth and Women's Conference is scheduled for Saturday, December 12, 2026. The National Congress will take place on Saturday, December 19, 2026, he confirmed. Kwasi explained that the electoral process is part of the party's broader efforts to reorganize and strengthen its structures ahead of the 2028 general elections. So the exercise is intended to consolidate the party's gains and prepare it for the next electoral contest, while ensuring continuity in what he described as the NDC's ongoing work in government. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has strongly defended its fiscal and operational relevance, stating that its investigations and corruption risk audits have saved Ghana more than 20 times the total amount of public funds released to the office since its establishment in 2018. In its half-yearly report to the second half of 2025, July-December, the Special Prosecutor Kwasi Amankwah dismissed recent calls in Parliament to abolish the office, describing them as diversionary tactics by entrenched interests threatened by accountability. The report directly counters claims that the OSP is a drain on national resources, arguing that despite operating under severe budgetary constraints and still being in its formative years, the office has more than justified its existence. According to the OSP, data from its operations show that for every cedi invested by the taxpayer, the state has avoided losing over 20 cedis through blocked fraudulent contracts, recovered assets, and the prevention of procurement breaches. If I cannot be maintained by any form of argument that the office has not performed as expected, and that is a drain on national resources, Mr. Jammeh stated, adding that delivered exceptional value for money. The report describes a period of what it calls an existential trial during which private members' bill was introduced in Parliament by Majority Leader Mahama Yaruga and Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Nelson Dafiamakwa to appeal the OSP Act, Act 959, and return prosecutional authority to the Attorney General's office, citing alleged administrative inefficiencies. The bill was, however, withdrawn following intervention by President John Dramani Mahama, who has consistently argued that calls to dissolve the OSP are premature. The president has maintained that the OSP remains the only institution with the independence to prosecute members of a sitting government, a function he says the cabinet member attorney general is not well suited to perform. As of January 2026, the OSP says its impact is reflected in a heavy docket of high-profile cases, including the prosecution of former NPA Chief Executive Mustafa Abdul Hamid and others, ongoing investigations into the Airbus SE scandal, payroll fraud, which reportedly saved the state over 34 million Ghana cedis in 2024 alone, the Cecilia Dapper case, and the corruption-related case involving former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, while affirming its openness to scrutiny. The OSP noted that it has consistently appeared before parliamentary committees. However, Mr. Jammeh warned that resistance is likely to intensify in 2026 as the office expands its lifestyle audits and unexplained wealth investigations. The office does not avoid accountability. It welcomes scrutiny, the report concluded, stressing that the current attempts to dismantle the OSP are being pursued without regard to the agency's actual performance or measurable impact. The Ghana Chamber of Mines has proposed a sliding mining royalty regime of 4 to 8%, the removal of the Growth and Sustainability Levy (GSL), and 1% net profit contribution to a community development fund. The Chamber says the proposal will allow the state to benefit from the current surge in gold prices without locking in long-term fiscal policies based on short-term market conditions. Speaking on Joy News,
exploration and prospecting companies who are doing a lot of prospecting.
Yeah.
So our hope is that we will be able to see a resurgence of that. But it's not only the issue of VATs that are going to happen. The other challenges within that we're talking to the ministry about is, how quickly we are able to get approvals so far as these, when these exploration licenses, some of them, there are permits that might have expired and need to be renewed. It takes too long, and so we need to work on some of these bottlenecks. Because, the interesting thing is that you find out that our neighboring countries, you take the Côte d'Ivoire, you take the likes of Mali, you take the Guinea and all of that. In terms of, if you look at the heat map so far as exploration dollars are concerned, there's a lot more movement going back into those spaces. So our hope is that with this decision that have been taken, we will be able to reverse that and be able to get some more, funds coming into exploration in Ghana. But it has to be accompanied with some, of the dealing with some of the bureaucratic bottlenecks that are in the system. Then there are also challenges with even securing, once you have exploration licenses, getting access to the land itself, some of the challenges that we experience on that, and some of that is even linked with the illegal mining. There was a situation where there was companies that have been doing exploration for years, almost close to a decade. You had people, illegal miners, get exploration and prospecting companies who were doing a lot of prospecting.
Yeah.
So
before we go to the top stories again, OSP seizes fuel stations, properties and vehicles linked to Mustafa Abdul Hamid case. NDC sets December 19, 2026 for National Delegates Conference to elect new leaders. Every city spent returned 20 times over. OSP shuts down critics. Chamber of Mines proposes sliding royalty of 4 to 8% removal of GSL amid high gold prices. NPA Chief Executive meets staff to chart renewed path for 2026. That ends Morning News on African United. My name is Kwasi Amankwah. Forces up next.